President Volodymyr Zelenskyy received a report from the head of the main intelligence directorate of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, Kyrylo Budanov, particularly regarding the plans of the aggressor country, Russia.
Among the matters we can discuss publicly, Kyrylo reported on the available information about Russian plans for the first half of next year, as well as on the key aspects of the geopolitical situation surrounding Ukraine. We are monitoring Russian connections in key regions of the world and restricting them.
The president and the head of the main intelligence directorate also discussed military intelligence operations conducted jointly with other forces. The president stated that he had instructed certain measures to be taken in the interests of Ukraine. Earlier, Volodymyr Zelenskyy held a meeting with the head of the security service of Ukraine, Maliuk, during which it was revealed that one of the Oreshniks was eliminated on the territory of the Russian Federation.
Until now, we had not made this public, but we can say one of the three Oreshniks was eliminated at Kapustin Yar by the main intelligence directorate, Security Service of Ukraine, and Foreign Intelligence Service.
As Maliuk reported, this was communicated exclusively to the president of Ukraine, and a few presidents of other countries were also aware of it.
The elimination was 100% successful. It was a very successful mission. At that time, the name Oreshnik was not yet used by the general public. And the Russians, if I'm not mistaken, weren't particularly threatened by it back then. This was the summer before last.
The head of the Security Service of Ukraine also reported that since the beginning of the year, Ukraine's defense forces have successfully struck more than 160 oil extraction and oil refining facilities on the territory of the Russian Federation.
If we take September and October of this year alone, that's 20 facilities. This has led to a shortage of more than 20% in the domestic petroleum products market, the idling of 37% of oil refining capacities, as well as shortages of petroleum products in 57 regions of the Russian Federation, and a ban on gasoline exports until the end of this year.
Maliuk added that these are precisely legitimate targets since 90% of the budget of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation comes from oil extraction and oil refining. As a result, as the president of Ukraine stated on November 12th, Russia will lose $37 billion in budget oil and gas revenues this year. Among the brilliant special operations of the Ukrainian defenders is WEB, which was carried out by the SBU on June 1, 2025. At that time, 41 Russian aircraft were hit, mostly strategic bombers. It was reported that drones struck 4 military bases, Belaya, Diaghilevo, Olenya, and Ivanovo. Operation WEB was unprecedented in terms of the depth of its impact. Ukrainian drones struck targets at a distance of more than 600 kilometers, covering a third of Russia's territory. The head of the SBU, Maliuk, stated that for Russia, the cost of the strike on its aviation amounted to $7 billion. On June 3, 2025, the Security Service of Ukraine carried out a successful underwater attack on the Crimean Bridge, blowing up the structure's supports. This was already the third attack since the start of the full-scale war. Earlier, a Russian pilot flew a Mi-8 helicopter belonging to the armed forces of the Russian Federation over to Ukraine. According to him, he took off from an airfield in Kursk and headed toward the Kharkiv region, flying at a minimum altitude of about 50 meters in radio silence mode. The operation was planned in advance and carried out by Ukrainian intelligence over the course of more than 6 months.